Hey everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. I'm going to wait a couple minutes for people to get on, but this class is the Oil-Infused Smoothies class. So welcome. This class is a little different than the others that we're doing, and I'm kind of excited because we've not really talked about using our vitality oils in smoothies before. So as a reminder, all the oils that can be used as dietary supplements or used as flavorings in your food or water, those will be labeled with a vitality label. Okay, so again, just know that anything that has a vitality label, those are approved to be used internally or added to food or drinks. So smoothies are a fantastic way to get in a lot of fruits and veggies. I've been actually making a bunch of smoothies lately, and it's so crazy how many fruits and vegetables you can get in one drink. So if you have not made these in a while, I think you'll be shocked at how many fruits and veggies you can fit in there. So they're good if you have kids and they don't love eating fruits and vegetables. You can make really tasty smoothies. So I'm going to give you some tips on making smoothies for yourself, just some shortcuts that I found to be helpful, and then I'm going to give you some recipes at the end as well. So as you know, a lot of the vitality oils, specifically the citrus oils, they have a lot of really health benefiting properties, and so it's kind of awesome that you can mix these straight into your smoothies. Not only do they provide a flavor boost, but they can also provide like a nutritional boost as well. I will show you, you can obviously make your smoothies in any sort of regular blender. I'm going to show you my favorite blenders, oops, sorry guys, for making smoothies. So if I'm just making a smoothie for myself, I have this like NutriBullet. We used to have the little bullet, those ones that they sold on like As Seen on TV. You guys, that thing lasted us like 10 years. I'm not even joking. And it finally just went like, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago. We've had it like almost since we've been married. So we replaced it with one of these NutriBullets, and this is awesome. Like, it's powerful enough to blend up frozen stuff. So you can put your frozen fruit in here, you can put ice in here, and it will blend. Not all of them will blend ice well. Or if they do, they'll leave it kind of just, they'll still leave it icy versus like turning it into a smoothie. But we have been really happy with this NutriBullet. It's a Magic Bullet brand. So if I'm just making something for myself, I will use this. There is a bigger container, so I could really make like a double portion if I wanted to. I will tell you, this is like the king of all blenders here. And we got this for Christmas one year because they're pretty expensive, but you guys, they're so worth it. And this is Vitamix. I don't know if you could see it, but I think the blend techs are the same. If you guys have a favorite blender, put it below. But this Vitamix, if you could make like 4 to 6 smoothies in this thing. So if you want to make something in a batch and you want to freeze them, this is a really great option because you can fit so much in there. This is like for sure a machine. Like, it's heavy and kind of clunky, but it is worth every penny. And a lot of times you can get these refurbished, both the Vitamix and the Blend Tech. You can find those refurbished and save quite a bit of money on those as well. So, but I know they're expensive, but they are most definitely worth their price. So these are my 2 primary things that I use to make smoothies, but if you just have a plain blender, that will work too. Sometimes things don't grind up as fine, or if you have like, sometimes things like spinach and stuff is hard to kind of grind up, but that will work too. So, Amy, love the Vitamix. You have 2. Husband had a peanut allergy. Oh, so you had to keep them separate. That's interesting. Yeah, they are awesome. Like, you guys, they can puree anything. So, okay. So a basic smoothie for anybody, you can put anything you want in there. What I typically try to do is find like, I try to get most, fruit. I think for probably most of us, fruits are a lot easier to consume in larger quantities than vegetables. And obviously fruit has more sugar. So I try to pile as many vegetables in my smoothies as I can and then just kind of sweeten it off with fruit. That's what I'm making them for myself. When I'm making them for my kids, I do have to make sure they're a little bit sweeter, but I can always get usually at least like spinach and carrots in there, and they have no idea. So, the other thing, so you can have your fruits and your veggies, some sort of liquid. So you can use water, you can use any sort of milk that you want. If you do like an almond milk or coconut milk or regular cow's milk or, whatever it is you like, you can just some sort of liquid in there. and then ice, and then your oils. So this is one of my tips. I hardly ever use actual ice in my smoothies because I use a lot of frozen fruit and a lot of frozen veggies. And so that kind of leads me to my next point is, when you make smoothies, it is a fantastic way to use up produce that would otherwise go bad. So in other words, if I have like a cucumber and I know like it's like on its last leg and it's still good today, but if I put it back in my fridge, it's not going to be good, tomorrow or the next day, I will take it and peel it and stick it in a Ziploc bag in my freezer, and I'll add it to a smoothie at some point. The other thing is, a lot of times we love to make guacamole, and our guacamole is just avocado and some sea salt. And sometimes we have leftover guacamole, so instead of throwing that away, avocados are expensive. I just bought, what did I buy today? Did I get 2 avocados and it was like $5? I was like, what in the world? But anyway, so I don't throw them away. If we have extra guacamole, I'll take it and I'll either put it in ice cube trays and freeze it, or even rather than messing with that, that's what I used to do, I'll just kind of take scoops of it and put it inside of a Ziploc bag and kind of like save it in little like pucks. Just kind of put pucks all along the inside of my bag, however many I have, and freeze that, and I will use those in a smoothie. Of course, bananas are great to freeze for your smoothies. Even if I have greens, so if I have spinach or I have kale or mixed greens, that we just didn't get through during the week. And I know, again, I don't save it once it's bad, obviously. I grab it before it's bad, but I will shove it in my freezer if I know, like, gosh, I don't have another recipe using this till X day and it won't last that long, so I'm just gonna freeze it. There was one point I had like 3 huge bags of spinach in my freezer because I just didn't get to them. And it will kind of freeze in a hard pack, and I just break it off and I shove it in my blender and I add that to my smoothies. So using smoothies is a great way to not let your produce go to waste, because how many times do we buy stuff at the grocery store and it ends up in the trash, right? So freeze it instead and add it to your smoothies. Okay, the other things you can add, if you want to do like a full meal with your smoothie, you can add a protein powder. So either your favorite protein powder, obviously Young Living has the Balance Complete and the Protein Complete. And you guys, those flavors are really, really good. The chocolate is kind of with the what is it called? Pure Protein. That is really tasty, the chocolate one, and the vanilla ones are good. The Balance Complete, I feel like tastes like vanilla cake. I don't know if you guys have any favorite protein powders from Young Living. They're super tasty. So those are great additions to your smoothie, especially if you're going to use it as like a meal replacement. Like, let's say you just want a really quick breakfast. You can take your bananas, your spinach, if you have carrots or whatever, and put your protein powder in there, blend it up. And you have a whole meal. So you can also add things like a healthy fat. So you can add some avocado, you can add some hemp seeds or some chia seeds. You can add some coconut milk, canned coconut milk. I will say it makes smoothies really creamy. But you have to watch out because a lot of the coconut milks, really any of them, but especially the canned ones, have different gums and different things like that. I know I cannot personally handle those. I have to have like just coconut milk. And so there is a brand, I think it's called Nature's Value or something. I don't know. I have to get on Amazon. They have a BPA-free lining can, and it doesn't have any additional gums or thickeners in it. My body can't deal with that. So I have to be really careful. But you can use whatever you want in your smoothies. Okay, yes, so I think I mentioned this before, but when you use your frozen fruits and vegetables, you can really cut down on the amount of ice that you use, and so that makes your smoothies just kind of taste richer and not so watered down. So I love that. I almost always use something frozen in my smoothies and hardly ever use ice. You'll see on the recipe sheet a lot of these say ice, but it's because they don't say frozen fruit. So if you have frozen fruit, you can, or vegetables or whatever, you can omit the ice on these recipes. A couple of tips here. If you really like creamy smoothies, like, okay, so let's think if you made a smoothie with like apples and cucumbers and, just stuff like that, and it would be a smoothie, but not super creamy. If you wanted to add the creamy factor to it, avocados, or bananas, or what's the other thing? Avocados, bananas, or mangoes will make your smoothie extremely creamy. So if you like that, like textury smoothness, those are 3 things that will work really great for creaminess in your smoothie. And okay, yes, and then on the recipe sheet that I have here, which I'll talk about in just a second, a lot of those will say like vanilla, almond milk, or something like that. Obviously, swap out and swap in whatever kind of milk or liquid that you like. So if you don't have almond milk, but you like the concept of like vanilla almond milk, just add whatever milk you use and a little vanilla extract. So then all of these smoothies are going to be like to taste. So if you need to add extra sweetener, you can use honey or maple syrup or like agave or whatever the heck you want. It's your smoothie, right? So just adjust all of these to your preference. We just wanted to give you kind of a starting place. I really love using berries in our smoothies. So I get like a big bag of frozen blueberries or frozen just regular berries. I just make sure they're organic. Berries are particularly sprayed with pesticides. So I try to get frozen organic berries when I can. Everything I have in my smoothie is typically in my freezer. Like I could make something at any point because I don't really necessarily have to have fresh produce to make it because I freeze almost everything. Or I'll use carrots, and I usually have carrots in my fridge just because they stay for a while. So all right, so that's kind of like the base of your smoothies. And then some good oils that you can try. Obviously, you can try any of the Vitality oils like I mentioned at the beginning. But orange, lemon, tangerine, peppermint, and nutmeg are some really good ones to try. Okay, any questions so far? I know I'm just like talking away. Okay, I'm going to cover, I made this print up sheet for you guys, and so I'll post it here in the group, and I'll also put all this class information in the Oil Moxie site as well. So I'm not going to read the amounts, but I am going to read these different smoothies to you just so you can get some ideas of some stuff that you could potentially try, okay? And then after this, I have some tips on some make-ahead smoothies, or just some ways to make ahead your smoothies, if that makes sense. I'll get to that in a minute, I suppose. But okay, so the first one on here is the banana pumpkin spice smoothie. And so you guys don't have to write these down. You can print out this sheet after the class when I post it. But just listen how good this sounds. So you just take some almond milk, half a banana, some canned pumpkin, like the 100% pumpkin, not with all the seasoning or anything, just pure pumpkin, a drop of nutmeg Vitality. You can sweeten it with some honey or maple syrup, and then sprinkle a little ground cinnamon on top. Now, Sarah Biscobean gave me this recipe, and she said she tried using like a drop of the cinnamon Vitality oil in there, and she said it was way too hot. So she was like, just sprinkle ground cinnamon on the top. But hey, if you're getting brave or daring, or use a toothpick and put it in your cinnamon, you could try that as well. But the nutmeg tastes really, really good in the smoothies. Okay, the next one we have is a mango orange smoothie. So for this, you can use some spinach in there, and the mango, like I said, mango will make it super creamy. Some vanilla almond milk, and like 2 to 4 drops of orange Vitality oil. So you've got the mango and the orange, you've got your spinach mixed in for your greens. Like that is a really good, yummy, healthy snack. And again, for any of these, if you want to add some protein powder to make it more of like a meal, or if you want to add some chia seeds or some hemp seeds, if you need a little bit of fat in there, if you're trying to get protein, carbs, and fat and make it more of a meal, you can do that too. Okay, the next one is the banana berry orange smoothie. So you would use berries, just frozen berries, a banana, some orange juice, and some almond milk or whatever kind of liquid you want, and then just some ice cubes and some orange Vitality essential oil. The apple oatmeal lemon smoothie. This is where, I don't know if you've ever seen that website called Green Thickies. It's so funny. That's what the website's called. It's a lady, and she lost like a ton of weight just by drinking smoothies, but she used oatmeal and different things to like give them some bulk, and she lost a ton of weight by doing this. So I like this recipe because it has oatmeal in it. For myself, if I just drink a plain fruit and vegetable smoothie, that's not a meal at all for me. Like I'm starving. So that's a good way for me. Like it's a good snack or a good way for me to get in extra fruits and veggies, but that's not a meal. But if I added something like oatmeal to it, it would be, it sticks with you longer, obviously. So the apple oatmeal lemon smoothie, spinach, apple juice and applesauce, or if you just wanted to put like half an apple in there, you could. Banana, dry oats, and then just some ice cubes and cinnamon and lemon vitality essential oil. Okay, so you can see how creative you can get here. A spiced banana smoothie. This recipe actually came from my blog, but it was just a banana, a scoop of the Balanced Complete Protein Powder because it's flavored vanilla. It tastes so good. A tablespoon of coconut butter. Now, if you guys don't know what that is, it's like peanut butter, but it's from coconut. So it's like, I wouldn't call it spreadable. It's firmer than like a peanut butter, but it's like the meat of the coconut that's all ground up. So I just optionally, sometimes if I have it at home, I'll add it to stuff just for like to thicken it up a little bit. So the banana, the Balanced Complete, the coconut butter is optional, and then just some water milk of choice, some ice cubes if you haven't used a frozen banana, and a drop of nutmeg vitality. Guys, it tastes so good. Now I will tell you, this is the second recipe we read with the nutmeg in it. Nutmeg, for some people, I feel like I'm more sensitive to it. It will like wire me. You know how nutmeg is for energy? Like nutmeg makes me feel like I drink like 2 cups of coffee, 1 drop of nutmeg. So beware if you're sensitive to things like that. Maybe just start a little bit small. It tastes amazing, but maybe try it at home if you don't have to go anywhere first, so you're not like bouncing off the wall if you have to go somewhere important, okay? Because nutmeg will like truly give you a huge boost of energy. At least it does me. Okay, this is another recipe from my blog called the Healthy Copycat Shamrock Shake. And so this was like a copycat of the McDonald's Shamrock Shake. You use a can of coconut milk. This makes multiple smoothies, but you use a can of coconut milk, a ripe avocado, some honey or whatever sweetener you want, and then 5 to 7 drops of peppermint vitality essential oil and some vanilla. Oh, you guys, it's really good. I mean, essentially it's like, it's just very, very creamy from the avocado and the coconut milk. It's like like shake creamy, you know what I mean? So that one's really tasty. Sarah gave me this recipe and I did try it, and it was tasty. It's called the Mint Chocolate Smoothie. And again, we have an avocado. You can put some spinach leaves in there, banana, strawberries, some vanilla almond milk, sweetener to taste, and some cocoa powder. And then you put in your peppermint vitality essential oil, and it tastes so good. So that was good. Now, you know, like the greener you get, right, like the more spinach you add and stuff, sometimes you can get a bitter aftertaste. So you're just going to have to adjust. Like if it's for myself, I'm not super concerned. I don't need to feel like I'm drinking dessert, you know, but if it's for your kids or somebody with a more sensitive palate, you might have to like tone down the greens and like up the sweetener a little bit or that type of stuff. So just adjust all of these to your liking. Okay, and then the last recipe was from, it actually was from the Back to School series called the Rise and Shine Smoothie, but you can use yogurt and milk in there. Again, any kind of milk you want, any kind of yogurt you want. 3 to 4 mandarin oranges, and then some vanilla extract, some ice cubes, and tangerine vitality essential oil. So, like I said, a few tips are use less ice if you're using frozen fruit. I just prefer using frozen fruit. Again, I can use so much like produce that I normally wouldn't use that would go bad. So I just have a whole bunch of frozen stuff in my freezer. And then I can omit the ice. For creaminess, banana, avocado, mango, like I talked about. For protein, Balanced Complete Protein Powder, the pure protein, or like hemp seeds. We'll add some protein. For antioxidant powder, you can even add some Ninja Red to your smoothies, or you can mix in your Ninja Nitro to your smoothies. And then, like I mentioned before, the vitality oils, you could try our orange, tangerine, lemon, peppermint, nutmeg. If you guys think of some other vitality oils, post them below if you have other favorites. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is, you know, like for instance, both of the blenders that I use, like I think our regular blenders are typically glass, but these are both plastic. So you have to kind of use your judgment. For me, if I'm just mixing like 2 drops of orange in here and I'm blending it for 30 seconds, I'm not panicky about the 2 drops of orange in this and a whole bunch of stuff, you know, especially if there's like an avocado or something fatty in there that it will truly dilute the oil. I'm not super concerned about it. I wouldn't store it in here, but if I blend it in here for 30 seconds and pour it into a glass, I'm not super worried about it. But you'll have to use your own judgment on that for yourself, okay? As you know, the citrus oils will can start to dissolve petrochemicals like plastic. I would say peppermint probably wouldn't as much as the citrus oils were, but you know, use your judgment. If you're going to mix them in, the other option you have, if you do have a plastic carrier like I do, again, my Vitamix is plastic too, you can make your smoothie first, and then as you're pouring it in glasses, stir the Vitality oils in your glass so the oils aren't even in anything plastic. Again, I'm not super worried about this because they spend such little time in here, but that is something that, you know, you can think about and decide for your own what you're comfortable with. Also, straws obviously are plastic. I usually drink my smoothie with a straw. You can buy, for me, I'm like such a fast drinker. My husband, like, he cracks up at me, my husband does, because he's like, did you drink all that? I'm like, what? I made it like 3 minutes ago. It's like, how'd you drink all that? I'm just like a super fast drinker. It doesn't matter if it's coffee or a smoothie or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But if you like tend to drink things slowly and maybe you wouldn't want to have a plastic straw in your thing with oils, they make stainless steel straws that you can find, and they also make glass straws. So that is something that you can consider too if you like to sip smoothies and you're concerned about the citrus oils touching any plastic. Essentially, like I said, you can have it like not touch any plastic if you don't want to. You could just always mix it in the end when it's in some glass. Heather, you're a chugger too. I mean, what the heck? I'm so like that. Oh, we got some comments here. Oh, yay, you guys. Okay, so protein powder. Yes, you can totally use protein powder in any of these smoothies or your own. Create your own smoothies. It's super easy. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a couple tips, and I actually tried these out because obviously it's really fast to just grab some stuff out of your fridge and freezer, throw it in, and call it a day. But I love making stuff ahead of time. Like I do a lot of overnight oats. I do a lot of mason jar salads. I am like big on if I can prep food before and like have it for a couple of days ready and waiting for me. I love to do that. So with smoothies, you can actually prepare them ahead of time. So I'm going to give you just a couple of tips when it comes to that. So number one, and I don't have a picture of this, but I am going to link a blog post. And if you guys have more tips to share on this, let me know. But basically what you could do is you can make freezer smoothie packs. So what this means, you could portion out, like put in your banana, put in your spinach, put in your mandarin orange pieces, your carrots, whatever it is that you're going to put in your smoothie. Put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. Put everything in there except for your liquid. And when you're ready to make your smoothie, it's all in there. It's all like measured out or whatever. I don't really typically measure a whole lot, but it's all portioned, and you just dump it in your blender, put your water or your milk or whatever liquid you're using, and blend it up. And that's a really good way to prepare smoothies ahead of time. So you could just make some prepared in advance smoothie packs. The other ways, and I've tried these two in this last week because I'd never done this before. I was kind of like worried about how the texture was going to be, but I did both of these. So the first thing you can do is make a huge batch of smoothie. That's what this big guy's for, right? So if you make a big batch of smoothie, and then what you can do is get some glass mason jars. You guys, they sell these everywhere. I mean, you can get these at Walmart, at your grocery store, on Amazon, whatever. And fill it up. You know, obviously we know stuff expands in the freezer, so don't fill it all the way up to the top. Obviously these lids have a little give, but you know, I filled mine up to maybe here. And just put the lids on and freeze them. And that way you can either set them in the refrigerator like the night before if you want a thought for the next morning, or like as you're getting ready, like let's say you maybe want to have it for lunch, pull it out of the fridge in the morning and let it thaw on the countertop for an hour or 2 or 3 or however long. Just play and see how long it takes it to thaw. And you like have ready-made smoothie. You don't even have to mess up your blender, right? So I did that, and it actually worked really well. I just made a big batch, froze it in like a few containers, pulled them out, and they were good to go. So that worked well. The second way I was a little bit more apprehensive about, because I thought it was really going to mess with the texture, because obviously part of the smoothie is like the frozenness of it, I think. But if you blend and then just refrigerate these, I wasn't sure how it was going to work, and it worked amazing. So I think I did the chocolate, I was testing this out on the mint chocolate smoothie, and so it had several frozen things in it when I made it, but I just took these and I shoved them in the fridge. They'll last for about a day or 2 in the fridge. I wouldn't make them like 3 or 4 days ahead because they'll start to get yucky, but I would freeze those if, if you needed them that far in advance. But if it's just a day or two, you can put them in your fridge and they're still pretty tasty. Now, I would imagine different ingredients last longer, taste-wise, the taste doesn't get off better than others. You know what I'm saying? Some of them probably refrigerate better than others. So freezing is probably a surefire way that they're always going to be okay. But when they're in the fridge, you don't even have to unfreeze them. I just was like, this is awesome. I pulled it out of the fridge for a snack one day, and then the next day I pulled it out before breakfast because whatever, I've got a 2.5 hour deal in the morning with my kids because they're on different schedules. And so I just get really hungry. But while I'm getting them out the door, I was like, oh, I got my smoothie in the fridge. So, anyways, that's something that you can try too. And then the fourth thing you can try if you want to make them ahead is, they have popsicle molds. So if this, even for yourself or for your kids, pour them in popsicle molds and you can eat it like a popsicle. And just think, it's just awesome how many fruits and veggies you can actually consume when they're all blended up and ready to go and they taste good. And so that's just another way that you can try as well. So smoothies make fantastic snacks. They make good breakfast, good replacement meals if you need something really quick and out the door. So like I said, add your protein powder if you need something. The other thing I use a lot of, I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it is gelatin, but it's called, what is it called? It's like the collagen. It's like the Great Lakes. It's in the green can. So it's not like the red can that would make Jell-O. It doesn't gel and firm up, but it will mix into cold drinks. It actually has a lot of protein in it, and it's actually very healthy for your gut if you have any leaky gut type issues or just want something healthy. It's the same ingredient in bone broth. Pretty much. So and that has a lot of protein in it. So I will use that in my smoothies as well if I need just a boost of protein. So that is another tip for you as well. So do you guys have any smoothie tips or anything that you particularly like? Post them, okay? Because I'm going collagen hydrolysate. Thanks, April. Yes, that's what it's called. And so I'll mix that into my smoothies too. So truly, you can hide a ton of vegetables. I've even seen people use baked sweet potatoes in their smoothies to thicken them, and just there's a lot of vitamins and minerals. We all wish we could eat more veggies, and this is a really good way to do it. And then your essential oils, not only, like I said, are they providing a hit of nutrition because of what they are, but they also obviously taste really good. So I'm going to link up this document and you can print it out. Again, these are just starting places. Adjust accordingly to what you like. If you need to add sweetener, take sweetener away, change the milk out, whatever you want. Just use these as a starting place. And then also I will post the link to the make in advance, those 4 tips that I did. If you like to make smoothies in advance, I'll post the link to that post as well because it was really helpful. But anyways, yeah, that is my huge tip is any produce that you're going to get rid of or that's going to go bad before it goes bad, pop it in your freezer and put it in a smoothie. You'll be shocked at how much you can save. So, okay, guys, thank you for joining and coming. And if you have tips after you watch this, post it because, we all learn from each other. So I appreciate you being here tonight. Thanks for the thumbs up. It's good to see everybody here. Oh, look at Stephanie. I'm allergic to bananas, so I have to get creative because all I want is bananas in my smoothie. That would be really tough. That would be tough. Yeah, I could see how a sweet potato could kind of provide the same consistency. Baked sweet potatoes in a smoothie is my favorite ingredient. Just put a bunch in your Instant Pot and then pop them in your smoothie. See, I need to do this now. See, you guys are inspiring me. Heather, me too. Okay, see, I've never tried it. I always learn something from you guys. So thanks for the tips. If you have more after you watch this or if you come back and watch the replay, please post your tips so the rest of us can see them. And I appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here. I hope you got some tips. Look for this PDF and I will talk to you soon.